A blueberry smoothie. Is there anything in my teeth? All right, I don't know if Q&As are still cool here on YouTube, but I always love watching them. So here we are making one. My voice is a little in and out. I don't know, anytime I have a weekend just full of like fun and screaming and laughing, my voice just goes away. So bear with me. All right, we got a lot. So what do you do when you worry? I'm very prone to worrying, to be honest with you guys, especially about my loved ones. I probably worry about people more than things. I kind of am in this space right now where I'm just kind of allowing myself to worry. I think like when you kind of resist an emotion or try to change it, or you're like, okay, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Like, yes, I understand that side too, but sometimes like allow yourself to feel into it, you know, allow your body to be a body, allow it to embrace that emotion. You'd realize how much it actually passes once you kind of accept it. Do you miss the road now that you decided to end van life? No. I like swore too. I thought like a month in I would be like, okay, like I need to travel. But it's really, really nice. Like I can genuinely say like homebody doesn't even feel like the word. I really love the space that I've created for myself here. You know, we're only on a 6-month lease, so it's not really that long. We're already down to 5 months left. I just love having a space that I know I can come back to as home base. Like it doesn't mean I can't travel and I see the world still. But it just feels really good to be like, okay, you can now rest. Like before you go to travel and you just like keep traveling, you know, and there's like no break time, it felt like. So what brand juicer do you use? It is the Omega 8006. I think that's it. I'll have it linked down below. Found mine on Facebook Marketplace though. Super discounted, works perfect. What's some basic breathing pointers? I have a video called Breathwork 101, which I feel like is a good start. I can maybe link down below some other videos too that I would recommend, but definitely have a ton of information in a ton of places. My Instagram highlights is also jam-packed with stuff too, so get your exploring on. Who is someone you look up to? Honestly, I have a lot of friends that I look up to, and that feels really good to say out loud. Wow. I definitely look up to some family members as well, but lately I've had a lot of friends around me that really inspire me, and I've never been able to say that out, like I've never been able to say that sentence. It's a really cool space to look around and feel like the people I'm surrounding myself with are lifting me higher and are achieving, you know, things and emotional spaces and places that I also have or want to. So my close friends, they know who they are. I would definitely say right now in life, they are people that I really admire and look up to. What's your favorite breathwork technique? Tumor breaths are probably my always go-to default answer for like anything. Like if you ask me like, which one should I do? I'm gonna probably tell you tumor breaths, just because that is like the most direct and conscious way to get into a more rest and digest parasympathetic calm nervous system. And Tumor Breaths is essentially 1 to 2 breaths a minute. So you can think about it like 10-second or 7 to 10-second inhales, holds, exhales, holds. And it creates this kind of inner fire. You might feel yourself like heat up in a Tumor Breath. And that goes directly into what I always talk about. Okay, sunshine. That breath work is the most detoxifying thing. 70% of toxins are removed from the breath. So when we heat up, our body expels. Boom, breath work, 2 more breaths. Get into it. Starting with juice fasting and I'm feeling bloated. Is that okay? Okay, this is a very general question, so it's very hard to answer because I don't know like what the days leading up to this look like, what herbs you are or not taking, what your sleep cycle looks like, what your stress cycle looks like, what your sex life looks like. Like, there are so many factors, and I get questions like these a lot, and I love to help you guys, but I just want you to remember that there are so many things that are at play. But to generally ask or answer it, I would say yes. I too have felt that before. I also don't know what day you were on in your fast, but I have felt bloated like 3 days in, and that is totally okay. I think there's a misconception that like when you fast for like a day or two, like you're just gonna like lose all this weight and just be like super skinny and light. And that usually happens like a week in for most people, personally speaking too. For me, like you notice physical changes for sure day 3, day 4, but probably by like 7th day is like, okay, a lot of water weight and emotional weight has been shed. The water in your body is probably, I mean, and I can't assume or absolute anything here, but certain acidic foods dehydrate us because the water in our body is being used to break them down. So you probably have a lot of food that still needs breaking down, and it's finally getting the chance to do that. So that's like a quick answer and breakdown of what may be happening. Do you practice urine therapy? No. Are you lonely? It's actually a really good question. I've actually had to ask myself this question a few times recently. I think I have moments of it, but overall, not really, no. I think if anything, I have a really good balance right now in my life of social interactions and alone time. I'm really falling in love with my solitude lately, and again, having this space to just be alone. During van life, it kind of feels like you're always exposed, there's somebody always around. It feels so good to just be with just me. There's little glimpses and little moments, but for the most part, be good. What would your life be like if social media never existed? I don't know, honestly. I never even thought about that. I'm just having a moment of gratitude for social media, which I never thought I'd have. I would imagine that I would still be teaching breath work though. I mean, I don't need social media to teach breath work, so I'd probably still be just an underground word of mouth yoga studio type of breathwork facilitator and, you know, reach the people that I could reach. What triggers you down to the core? Ooh, I would say the first thing that's coming to my head, I get triggered by really subtle things, and I'm sure we all do, so that was a pretty general statement, but certain music, because I think I have such a deep connection to music. If you guys keep up with me at all on social media, you know that I like make playlists, and like I would say pretty good at curating a little vibe, or you know, I'm just always the one that has the aux cord in the car. And anyway, I just have like really deep attachments to music and memories. So if a certain song comes on that like triggers a memory, it's just like, okay. Are you single? And if not, what is your type? I am currently single. I realized the other day through a conversation with a friend that, you know, I want to say I don't have a type, but I have a type. Everybody has a type. Y'all are lying if you say you don't have a type. I mean, I used to be saying the same thing. There's like two things that I know matter to me in a partnership, and these two things sound very broad when I say them out loud, but I know what they mean to the core. So, but like someone that has discipline to some degree in their life, like some type of discipline, whether that's, for me, honestly, if it's more health-based, that's like really like important to me, that you give a fuck about your health in some form or fashion. So like discipline in that way, or discipline with your work, or discipline with your, you know, what you prioritize, how you clean your home, some type of discipline there. Second one, a love for nature. And nature is like a very universal word, like obviously the external physical nature, but also just like the nature of life and like the natural flow of life. So if you have, you know, a lot of resistance, we're trying to force a lot of things, like we're probably not gonna work. So this is someone that is kind of a little bit more easygoing, a little bit more on the natural-esque side of energy, and has an appreciation for nature and the outdoors. I got a lot of questions about psychedelics. Most powerful psychedelic experience you've had, and what did you learn? Most powerful one was probably the first one, I think. And I'm not here condoning psychedelics or telling anybody to do them or that you're missing out. This is obviously just my personal experience. So, but first experience with mushrooms, it's not always like some deep thing. Like it's not always like I saw this like waterfall that turned into a dragon. I laughed for an hour straight, like at myself. Like I was crying of laughter the first time I ever did mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, and mainly laughing at myself because of how much I think I'm in control and how much I think that I like can think my way through a situation, or I like know what's gonna happen, or like, you know, because I was like so scared to do them and then did them, and it was like, girl, you know, they're not the enemy, like relax. It just lifted a lot of this like seriousness that I put on myself, and I feel like since then I've had a lot more like play into my life, or at least like I know what that energy feels like. Like I have a lot more grace to myself and a lot more room to laugh at myself, because sometimes, y'all, we just be walking around taking life way too serious. At least I know I do. So one of the more powerful experiences was just being able to literally cry of laughter at myself though. Like, why do my nostrils sting when I breathe in during breath work? Okay, this is a common question as well. I mean, usually there's, again, a lot of factors here at play, but you know, I don't know where you are, what you've been eating, what the environment even looks or sounds like. But when we breathe in, it tends to be a little bit more cool. And we breathe out, it's a little bit more hot, like the yin yang type of thing, literally. So, I mean, as you practice, that definitely decreases, or at least your like hyper awareness of it decreases. I also don't know what kind of breathing you're doing. I know when I'm doing like more slow breaths in colder environments, or when it does feel cool when I inhale, it doesn't hurt as bad if you slow down the breath. If you're doing a lot of like steady or quick breaths, it stings a little bit more. Not sure if that answers that question, but there's a lot of factors there again at play. What is the biggest change you've noticed in yourself after living in the van? I think just my work drive, my love for getting things done. Van life doesn't have much consistency to it, as I've talked about before, and so having a space to just be consistent and really get work done, I've realized how much that really does make me feel a lot better when I like cross things off my to-do list and like get things done. Like that's just me, and I like having a space to dance and play and work and scream and cry and do all that. Dream location for your yurt. As you guys know, I forever have wanted a wooden yurt as my dream home. Really though, like if me and my partner could have like 2 connected yurts, like I have one and he has one, and there's just a hallway that connects us. Anyone else want like separate rooms? Anyway, dream location, I don't know. Probably another country, probably like Guatemala or something, because I loved Guatemala. I know it's really hard to say. Like I want to say like California, but I'm like, I don't even really want to live in California because them taxes and that gas and that government is not it. I just imagine it being somewhere really, really lush and just like enough acres for possibly other structures, or like for my family to be nearby or whatever. Not like too tucked away in the woods, but like perfectly enough privacy. All right guys, that is all of the questions that I'm going to answer today. If you have more that maybe I didn't see or didn't get to, maybe I'll answer them in the comments. If you have some other ones, I would love to answer them. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.